we read in the paper the other day about City Council President Joe Cavo saying that he's open to the idea of supporting having a police officer,
Right.
a 13-year unnamed veteran, live in Farrington Woods.
An active police officer.
Right. It's 190 acres, right? And this is the place that's become infamous in the local area for old man sex, public old man sex, right?
Right.
Am I wrong in anything here?
No, you're right.
Okay. So obviously people want to stop people from having public sex, whether it's old men or gay men or straight people, whatever it is.
I got it, yeah.
You know, the children. Think of the children, my God, man, the children. So they come up with that plan, and I say, well, I have a better one. We need to take it a step further. You're putting a Band-Aid on a bullet wound, right? So instead of just having one guy who's got to swat away all these penises, you get a team. And I call that the Schwanz Response Team, or SRT, if you will.
No one's fly swatting away penises.
Yeah, no, that's what they get. Fly swatters, non-lethal weaponry, right? Because that's fair.
Yeah.
You just swat them away, all those penises. And then you have the, soldiers have RPGs, what's called rocket-propelled grenades. These officers on the SRT would have rocket-propelled penis grenades, or RPPGs. So when we had Danbury Mayor Mark Boughton on this morning, we presented him with our plan, and it went something like this. Ethan, joining the show now, the mayor of the great city of Danbury in his regular weekly spot. It's Mark Boughton. Hey, Mark.
Hey, Mark.
Hey, hold on a second, guys.
Yeah.
Could you just add a little more vodka to that? That's good. Okay, I'm good.
That's great.
And I don't think that's good.
That's great. Well, I was going to start with something else.
That, did you?
I was going to start
not.
with something else, but then I might as well transition into this, okay? So I read an article about how the governor race is wide open in Connecticut, and of
Really?
course your name was brought up, and here you are pouring vodka into your drink at 8:50 in the morning.
Really
Weekend. It's
wasn't.
close to the weekend.
Close to the weekend.
Really wasn't.
Do you want to comment on the idea that, again, that your name is being brought up, as we all know it was going to be?
Yeah, no, it's always flattering to be considered, and have your name thrown around like that.
Yeah.
It's no secret. We're looking at the race.
Right.
There's only one other job I would do besides the job I do right now, and that's governor of Connecticut. So I'm definitely interested, but a lot of hoops have to be jumped through for us to make something like that work. So we'll see.
All right.
It's complicated, isn't it?
It's incredibly complicated.
All right, this next question, I'm going to need you to follow what I say and stop me if I say anything wrong in the beginning, okay?
I'm listening. I got you.
Okay.
I got you. We're going to build a wall right in Bethel. and
Okay.
You're going to pay for it. All right.
So, City Council President Joseph Cavo, that's the guy, right? That's the title.
Yes, Joe, yeah.
So-
you want to be council president?
Sure, absolutely. Absolutely.
you're right.
I can do that. He said he'd be open to the idea of supporting this thing where they would put a retired cop in Farrington Woods to basically not only be sort of a caretaker, but somebody to monitor the area and make sure that old gay men stop having public sex there. Am I right in that?
I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Am I correct in what I've said so far? Right? I'm right on track so far.
I'm sorry. I just had some imagery. Go ahead.
Okay, so he said that, right?
He did. He said that, but it's not a retired cop. It's an active cop. But go ahead.
Oh, it's an active cop. 13-year veteran, unnamed police officer. Okay.
He's a good guy. I know the guy. Really good guy.
And I say fine. I said to Ethan, look at this. It's a decent plan, but why can't we take it further and fully eliminate the problem? And here is my plan, if you are ready.
Yes.
We will form an entire team, almost like a SWAT team, but we will call it, instead of that, the Schwanz Response Team. Okay? Are you with me so far?
I got you.
Okay? We equip...
I'm not laughing with you. I'm laughing at you.
I know. We equip them with fly swatters, to swat away all the schwanzes, and RPPGs, not RPGs, rocket-propelled grenades, instead rocket-propelled penis grenades. Your thoughts?
I think that I'm a big friend of the LBGTQ RSV community, and I don't want to get anybody upset, so I'm not touching that.
You're not touching that one.
Good
Okay.
move.
I'm just saying, typical politics. They put a Band-Aid on a bullet wound while I'm trying to eliminate the problem completely. I'm a planner. I'm a doer.
Look, it doesn't matter what your sexual orientation is. You shouldn't be having sex in the middle of a park. It's not good. It's
Right.
bad.
And
Very bad.
that has
Very
been
bad.
always our point here on the Ethan and
Common
Lou show.
sense.
Have all
Right,
the
common
sex you
sense.
want. Have all the gay sex you want. Have all the hetero sex you want.
Exactly.
Whatever kind of sex you have, just keep it in your room.
Correct.
That's right. I don't want to know what goes on in your bedroom. I don't care.
Okay, let's move away from old man sex.
Thank you.
Now,
Please, yes.
Last night, the Commander-in-Chief Forum on NBC, I thought was
Huge.
decent television. Matt Lauer's gotten some criticism with, they're saying he coddled Trump. I disagree completely. Hey, Hillary, I'm going to skip past her. She was just boring and lying to me. So Donald Trump sits down, and I thought he did a decent job dealing with Matt Lauer's questions, with one glaring exception, and that was when he was asked about being complimented by Vladimir Putin. And then he goes into this, launches into this whole Putin love fest, which was not received well by Lauer or, I would imagine, the nation.
Right. I have to tell you, I don't think anybody really cares one way or another. I think that there is this weird thing that Trump has about Putin. Who knows what the story is? There's some sort of backstory there. But at the end of the day, does the public really obsess about this? I'm not really sure. I know they care about veterans. I know they care about how our veterans are treated when they've come back from this, very long war that we've been involved in. And I know they want them taken care of. That I can tell you. So to that extent, I thought both candidates said, okay. I got to tell you, though, I think this is starting to become, where it was an election for Hillary to lose, it's now an election for Trump to win. If he can straighten himself out in the next 6 weeks or 8 weeks, whatever we have left, it's very possible he could win this thing. People, I just sense talking to people around town, people are moving away from Hillary very fast for a variety of reasons. They just don't like her. So, but then you can't go to Trump. He hasn't made himself, attractive yet as a candidate for people to say, oh, yeah, that's a good alternative. So he's got to figure something out there. But he didn't do horribly last night. And although polls after the event said that he basically, quote, it was a better candidate last night. So that, that was his thing.
Danbury Mayor Mark Boughton joining us. And just from an entertainment standpoint, I find it frustrating whenever Trump's interviewed that a bulk of the time is spent cleaning up or dismissing things that he's said in the past or explaining away things he said in the past. And I just want to get to the here and now so I can laugh at the crap that he's going to say.
Well, the other thing is, I think it's backfiring on the press. The press are so adamantly opposed to this guy, and I'm not saying he hasn't earned their opposition, but that, the American public, they kind of don't like that. They sort of like fair play, and they'll get to that conclusion on their own. But when, you have somebody pushing you to do something, it bothers the American public, and I think that's backfiring on the press. So to the extent that Lauer was pretty tough on Hillary, yeah, he was, but look, there's some questions about Hillary's efficacy here or honesty. Of
course there is.
So I don't think that was out of line for him to do that.
But Lauer didn't look like he was, he had a different face on when Trump came on stage. He had to be respectful, but he had that who just farted, I hate your guts face on.
They all do, yeah, all of the press. They really, that's not a good thing for democracy. When the American public is left to make the decision, and by an objective press, they usually make the right decision.
Hey, big deal this weekend, huh? You got the Taste, huh?
Taste Danbury's coming up. Huge. It's huge. We got tomorrow night we have our 9/11 ceremony, which is on 9/9 because of some logistical issues we have on Main Street on Sunday, 6 o'clock down at the Elmwood Park. So we've got a lot going on this weekend.
Everclear playing it. Everclear, loving that.
We got to the 90s. I had Eddie Money 2 years ago. We went from the 80s to the 90s. I'm going to get us to the 2000s in the next couple of years.
And the news just broke the last couple minutes. The New York Mets signed Tim Tebow to a minor league contract.
Well, there you have it. We're good. We've got the World Series in hand.
It's good stuff.
Who's next year at the Taste? Ludacris?
We may go there. Okay. We may go there. Yeah, I may. Snoop Dogg. I have a friendship with Snoop Dogg.
Swaggy P. Yeah,
friendship with Snoop Dogg.
Okay, there you go. Danbury Mayor Mark Boughton, thank you for your time as always, and forgive me for all the penis talk.
No problem. Listen, peace and love to you guys.
All right, man.
Thanks, Mark.
Goodbye.
Talk to you later.
I love that.
The future governor of Connecticut talking penises with us.
Penis, Ludacris, and Snoop Dogg.
But if you're just joining us, he did the right thing and just didn't say a thing.
Yeah. 8:58, Ethan and Lou, I-95.